What's up, ladies and gentlemen? What's up? What's up? We will be reading The Beginning After the End, chapter 226, the beginning of the new season. Now, this one is a couple weeks old. 227 is already out, but I will read it and you will let me know if you want me to continue to read this manga. Well, this manhwa. The chapter begins with our main hero, Arthur. He's thinking to himself, Sylvie is being possessed by Arona, the leader of the Elakar. Boom, and you see this girl. Now, this girl is Sylvie, who is Arthur's dragon. She has finally been able to take a human form, but she had these two black horn that look like devil's horn coming through the back of her skull. She has finally been able to convert to human, but her body has been taken over by Ar- Ar- Arana. Arana? Argana. That's how I would pronounce it. Argana. Argana. Argana, the leader of the Elakar. Arthur, let me give you guys a quick reflection. Arthur was a king in his past life. He gets reborn into a new world and he remembers his past life. This world has magic and all that good stuff. Well, okay. I think if you guys want me to refresh all of, I'm just gonna go through this chapter. If you guys want me to refresh all of this, let me know, and I'll make a video of this and explain everything. Okay, okay. All you need to know is there's a war going on between the Alakari and dictate the Dictarian. Arthur is part of the Dictarian. Okay, that's all you need to know. Now back to the chapter. Sylphie has been possessed by Argana. Arthur, he sees this and he's on guard. So he talked to Argana. What happened to Sylphie? Is she safe? And then Argana goes, Sylphie? Good name. What I'm using to speak with you is a harmless spell. I embedded in her while she was still an egg. Arthur raised Sylphie when she was an egg. He was giving this egg by Sylphie's mom. Okay? Sylphie, Liz Argana, she's sleeping. She's safe, simply sleeping. Arthur, he's he's kind of hesitant, but he points to the chair, and Argana, she walks to the chair and she goes, "Thanks for the hospitality and for keeping your wits together. Communication is easier when you don't try to kill me." Both her and Arthur, they sit down facing each other. Arthur goes, hurting you while you're possessing my bond wouldn't be very effective. Argana goes, I can't even use mana art in this body, but I disagree. Let's talk about something more important. I'm pleased to have caught you here for two reasons. One, I don't have to seek you out and risk running into your leader along the way. Although it would have been amusing to see their reaction if they found out I was able to invade the most secure location on their continent. And then Arthur, he's quiet and then he tells her, what's the second reason? Ha ha ha. Well, you're the only one on this continent I'm interested in. And so Arthur thinks to himself, why is the leader of a rogue Ashra clan interested in me? Ashra are dragons, and human consider these dragon. deity, gods. Okay, and Argon, she walks up to Arthur, and she's giving Arthur like this evil smirk. And then Arthur, he's still thinking, whatever the reason, it can't be a good thing. She finally speaks and says, "My, the look on your face. Don't worry, I'm not going to suddenly pin you down. Even if my taste screws that way, I'll still be a little inappropriate in this form. No, because she's in Sylphie's human form, taking over Sylphie's body, Sylvie's body." And she's laughing, tears coming down her eyes. And Arthur goes, "You're a lot more eccentric than I imagined." Then she stands up and she goes, "Did you imagine I'd be some poised dictator in a silk cape, hell bent on making the world all mine?" Yeah, something like that. Well, you're partially right. But I have to appear dignified to my people. I spent generation among lesser like you and Elakar, who changes your ethic on a whim. Just a couple hundred years ago, public execution were free entertainment. Now you find them horrifying? It's a pain to deal with. So I have my people handle you lesser based on your changing sense of right and wrong. And what exactly is your sense of right and wrong? And this is Arthur asking her. Your retainers have massacred soldiers with glee. And she replied with, "And you display my poor Jaguarette's frozen corpse like a trophy. I think it's hardly fair to act like your side is better than mine." And then Arthur, he thinks to himself, if what he say is true, it seems Ellicott is in the wasteland full of lesser enslaved to the Vietra's bidding, like I thought. The Vietra is a group of Ashra. So the the Ashra has couple clan, and the Vietra is a group of one of those clan. They basically rebel against the Ashra and taken human, which who they call lesser, as slave, and they um, experiment with them. But the thing is, these 18 clan, they have a treaty going on where they won't fight each other, and that's why the Vietra are doing whatever they want, because the other Ashra clan won't stop them because of the treaty. And then he goes, or she goes, it's actually a do, but because Argana is possessing Sylvie's body, then it's a girl. So I'm just gonna call it she for now. You're thinking it's weird I actually give a shit about the lesser, right? And then Arthur goes, according to the Ashra, you've been breeding and conducting experiments with them even before you were kicked out of Ephot- Epotius. Epotius is there's three continents in this world. It's Epotius, Dicterion, and the Alakari. Those are the three continents. And Epotius is where the Ashra or the deities, the gods, that's where they reside. And humans, they live both in Alakari. Well, you can't really say human. You got, because it's elf and dwarf. But when I say human, I'm implying all three of those races. Humans, they also live. Humans only, well, as we know, live in Dicterion and Alakari. And there's a war between them because the Vietras clan went into Alakari and basically experiment with those humans, and try to rebel against Euphotius because they were kicked out of Euphotius. But then because of the treaty, it's kind of dumb, but because of the treaty, they can't fight each other. And so Vietras using the human and Alucard to fight against Dicterion. That's what it is. Now she goes, the best lies are half true. And Arthur, he's not saying nothing. So she continued, Kizzy and that lackey of his never told you the reason why I did all of this, did they? Kizzy is another deity, I guess. Was it not, and the Arthur goes, was it not to build an army capable of bringing down the other Ashura? And you could see her digging through Arthur's stuff, and she found the horn that Arthur took from one of the retainers. That's odd. That's all they told you, Arthur? And then she tossed the She looked at the horn, she tossed the horn away. And then she goes, do you think I just woke up one day wanting to commit genocide against my brethren? And then Arthur, he's just giving a dead look straight at her. Any reason you give doesn't justify what you're trying to do. Then she goes, I should have expected you have the same mindset as Kizzy. Let's suppose you live on this continent without magic. How differently will everyone you know treat you today? The royal families that you know? Question mark. They wouldn't bat an eye in your direction. Your peers from Xris? No, it's Zyrus. Zyrus. That's the school, the magic school. Your peer from Zyrus? No, without magic, you never would have gone to Zyrus. How will you feel? Basilisks were notorious amongst other race. So, okay, the Ashra, they have eight. Well, I think it was like 18 clan. Was it nine clan? I can't remember. But they have all these clans, and all these clans are different races. Basilisk is one of those races. Basilisks are the Vietras clan. Okay, but imagine if your very clansmen look down on you for lack of talent. Lord Indra, who approve of you. Lord Indra is Sylphie's granddad, the king of Ashra. Well, the king of the king of that clan of Ashra. No, basically they're like dragons. So they haven't totally explained it yet, but I think that these clans are different race. And Lord Indra, they are the dragon race. And the Basilisk, which is Argana's clan, they are probably like snakes, of course. Okay, Lord Indra, who approve of you, didn't even find it worthwhile to breathe in my direction. And so Arthur goes, this hypothetical version of me is supposed to relate to you? It's just not justifiable to toy with the lives of countless people in order for you to grow stronger. And then she goes, do you shed tears for the ant you step on? So she's implying humans are ant. And when you kill ant, do you cry for them? Of course not. So if she kills a human, why would she cry for them? And then Arthur goes, ha, I was naive to think we could have a rational conversation. And then she goes, what I achieved through those experiments has benefit all of the lesser in Elikaria. They worship me, not out of fear, but out of reverence. To them, I am their savior. And then Arthur goes, do you wipe their memory of killing and torturing your people's ancestors or something? And then she She goes, I'm just those test subjects. I'm sure those test subjects are grateful I made use of them. It is their ear, their future generation that will reap the reward of their sacrifice. Arthur, he's thinking to himself, this egotistical mania. He truly believes what he's doing is right. And then Arthur speaks out loud. And what exactly did you accomplish that is supposedly worth these experiments on the people of Alicaria? Then she goes, Arthur, the number of mage to non-mage in dict- is dictadian is 1 to 100. What do you suppose the statistic is in Alicaria? It's 1 in 5. Arthur is shocked. Okay, so now let's go back. Let's stop for a second. Dictarian, there's not that many mage. Okay, like she was saying, there's one mage in every 100 people. But in Arcalia, where the other continent, there's one mage and 5 people, and that is because of her experiment with the humans. 1 in 5. Arthur, he's shocked. He stands up, and then she goes, "Look at you. You're impressed. What's your goal in all this? You sound insane. Insanity is relative." And then Arthur, he goes, "I assume you wanted to my help or to get me on your side." She laughs and then she goes, "My side? Hmm. You assume a lot of things, but you're missing answers. Suppose I can provide some. Do you remember when your parents were attacked at the wall? Your parents were left untouched because I wielded it, and the Ashrars unresponsive to your leaders? A few Ashura, including Aldea and Winsome, attempted to infiltrate my castle in Alacaria. Does that and then Arthur goes, does that mean the treaty is broken? She goes, no. Neither I nor the Ashura and Epotius wish for it. So we made another deal. And Arthur, he's kind of hesitant. He know what's coming. And he goes, and what is it? The Ashura can no longer aid you in any way throughout this war. Winsome, Adair, the rest of the Ashura have abandoned you in Dictadian. So before Winsome and Adair, they're two dragons that came and tried to help Dictadian so that they have a fighting chance against the Alicaria. Because the Alicaria attacked Dictadian. Now, Winsome and Adair, they knew that the Basilisk clan were were behind this, and so they was trying to help Dictadian. But while this was going on, they infiltrated her castle, and I guess they came with a new treaty because they got caught infiltrating. Because they idiot, if they were better, they wouldn't get caught, but they got caught, so now they got to come with new treaties. And Arthur goes, "Why are you?" And so that's why earlier, well, the previous chapter, they couldn't get a reach of Winsome or Adair, and that was because of this new treaty. Arthur goes, and then she goes, "Why am I telling you this? You asked me what my goal is? Getting you on my side willingly would be nice. But right now, I want you to remove yourself from this war. I've been conservative in this war, refraining from unnecessary Sorry, give me 1 second. Let me unzip my baby girl. She been whining and crying. What's up, gang? Hi. Hi. I've been conservative in this war, refraining from unnecessary civilian death. But that does not mean it will continue this way. You barely clung to your life up until now. This is just the start. How likely is it that your side can win this war? And your family and your loved one will be alive in the end? You can hide, seek refuge in Alakaria. Just don't become an opponent to my army. Guarantee that, and I will guarantee you and your loved one will be left untouched. Ah, Sylvie seems to be stirring from her sleep. Take some time to think about everything. I'll leave a spell with Sylvie so you can give me your answer. I advise you to make a choice soon. We're progressing to the next stage of this war, and I assure you it won't be to your side's benefit. No, 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 no. Okay, so Sylvie's waking up, and she's telling Arthur that she don't need Arthur to join her side. She just need Arthur to remove himself from this war, and him and his loved one. Naomi, that's daddy. Don't touch that. Him and his loved one and his family. They'll all be safe. They'll all be moved to the other continent, to Elikaria. All they gotta do is just leave the continent and don't mess with uh her army. Naomi, look what you did. And so Arthur goes, earlier you said I was the only one on this continent you're interested in. You never told me why. And then she sits down on the chair and she goes, I suppose it does no harm in telling you. Let's say I enjoy talking with an old friend of yours, King Gray. Boom, in a chapter. King Gray is Arthur's old self, his past life. His past life, he was King Gray. So I'm guessing in some way she was able to talk to King Gray, but that kind of don't make sense. They're gonna have to explain this because if she is able to talk to King Gray, are they saying that King Gray and Arthur are two different people? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but in a chapter, we if you guys like this, we will do 227 because 227 is out. But all right, let me know. All right, let me know. All right, all right, all right. Sorry about my baby girl. No, sorry about my baby girl. She was playing in the background. All right.